Okay, fourth video of the day. I gotta really sit down. Hello, everybody. I brought my no-name prototype over to George at On-Track Audio, and he told me he want to start with this.
I do want to start with that.
Why?
Well, because...
All right,
can you bring it back here so I can see it?
Okay.
All right, this actually says... this reminds me of something that's really important. There's a lot of people that look at this stuff and says, oh, look, a 5-year-old could do better. Yeah, you're so full of crap. Stop that, okay?
We all full of crap.
Huh?
We all full of crap.
No, yeah, but people asking those questions know nothing. Until you actually see this thing in front of you, you don't understand what the silicone's for. You don't understand what the color's for. You don't understand how it pertains actually to the device. To the device. And as a customer reminded me when he came in here and he said, you know, I'm glad I came over and saw this stuff, because when you look at it online, two-dimensionally, you just have no idea. You just don't get any sort of feel or flavor for what it is, what it does, and how it looks. And what brought that to mind was this remote. When you look at this remote, here, show it up there. Yeah. When you look at that remote, see, you're looking at it now. It looks kind of plain and whatever. You don't really understand what it is. But when you get that, when you get this thing in your hands and get it in front of your face, it actually looks kind of cool. It's like a video game controller with numbers on it. It's kind of neat. So I mean, you know, for all of you that are going to be, I could do that with them. No, you can't. You just can't. Stop it. Stop that stuff. Honest to God, stop it. It's dumb.
Did you notice I didn't say a word?
Yeah. Well, no, it's my rant. Anyway, we continue. So, this is the no-name. Well, it used to be the no-name preamplifier. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about the hat today, it says, I'm cold. I mean, I know I don't have any hair. I don't care about that. I haven't had it for years.
I just realized something.
You know, I'm cold.
You know what's
bloody cold.
You know what the four words COLD and OLD?
Yeah.
Cold means old.
Yeah. See, I'm old.
That's right. That's cold.
Yeah. It's cold.
You ran enough. Keep going.
I ran enough.
They're going to change channel if you don't.
Okay. So this started off as the no-name preamplifier. It now has 2 power amplifiers in it. Well, it's got 2 output stages in it, so we can actually compare.
Yep.
Different. The same. Actually, no. That's. Let me back up. It's got the same output stages, but one power output module has a single pair. And the other output module has 4 pairs. So yes. One output module has a power output of about 85 watts. Mm-hmm. The other power output module has about 200 watts.
Yes.
The one with the 4 pairs of output devices in it. So this is going to be an even bigger thing, but it's turning into another test bed where you're going to prove 3-4 different concepts. We're going to talk about the difference between less output devices and more output devices.
Yeah, because I always believe, in general, if your speaker don't need that much power, don't buy too much extra power. Headrooms is one thing. Way too much excessive power, it's just going to sound sluggish.
Yes, sluggish and lazy. Yeah. If you don't need it, it will sound. If you're overpowered, things will sound a little bit sluggish and tired. Is actually a good word. Yeah. Yeah. We're also gonna later on, not now, of course, and this is just an initial listen for me. But what we had to listen today, we both heard very clearly in about 5 minutes of listening.
Yep.
And it probably didn't even have to take that long. You're also going to talk about the number of transformers. Right?
The number of transformer is, I'm going to have a separate power supply with 2 transformer. I can switch in and out 1 or 2 transformer to try to prove that points. Is it more transformers are always better? Or is it like adequate plus how many % more is just right? Again, they need to be headroom. But too much headroom is not necessarily good.
So why is all this stuff going into this one amplifier? Well, the reason for that is, you explain it better than I do, but we're trying to remove as many variables as possible so that you can actually hear the same preamplifier with 2 different output stages.
Yep, using the same volume control, same preamp,
same everything.
Same power supply, same power cord.
Yep.
Actually, when we change the speaker binding posts at the back and the side here, or we don't even turn off the amp. So there's no warm up time, no ready time. It's hot swap.
Yep.
So that's how we do the comparison.
Yep.
And everything else is same. The volume control exactly the same, so the level exactly the same.
Yeah, it's all fine and well to say, oh, I've heard this amp with this output and this amp with this out and this and that. But no, until you get a controlled situation like this, which is why these proving ground, this is an electronic proving ground, right? And this is why these elaborate constructs are built. Yeah, you could build this amp and then listen to it side by side, but why not put them together with exactly the same thing so you eliminate pretty much any variable you can eliminate and get a really good idea of what it is you're actually listening to. So this one's getting an upgrade. Well, not an upgrade, an extension. Yeah,
it's an extension because I just find I have another two concepts to prove, and then I have half built as 75% built. Why build another preamp?
Yep.
So I'm going to add another extension on top, and then build that on, and it's going to turn out to be a future preamp that we haven't decided exactly what we want to do that with that model. So that's why I'm going to build a prototype within this to find out, not prove now, to find out what is best for that model.
Yep. And as you can see, there's 4 volume knobs up top, up front. One's a master. The other 3 are for 3 different
pairs of outputs.
Three pairs of outputs, preamp outputs.
Yeah.
And there's also, if you look carefully, you can see some yellow and brown knobs on top. Can you point those out for everybody?
Yeah, yellow and brown knobs. You don't
Right
have
down
a stick
there,
anymore.
down there.
Stick. Yellow and brown.
Yep.
Now you point it. I'm going to take the camera in.
Oh, okay. Here we go. And you're going to have to take our word for it, which I know nobody wants to do, which is fine. I don't care. Don't. Come in and listen to it. That way you'll know. Anyway.
And it's kind of difficult for people that are far away.
Yep. So.
Okay, I am stable. You show.
So here we go. We have you've got pairs of brown yellow knob, brown yellow knob, brown yellow knob. These are for each channel. These are phase controls. The only reason I point those out is that you might see them and go, what are those? Well, they're phase controls, so we can control the shape of the stereo image. But the most important thing you need to understand is that when we were testing this today, we made absolutely sure that we had the two different pairs for the amplifier output stages. We had the 2 different pairs for those channels in exactly the same position. So we made sure that, again, no variables, right? They were put in exactly the same place.
Yep.
So we listened for 5 minutes, and what did we hear?
We have heard enough. There's a difference.
Yep. From my point of view now, some people will think this is a better sound, and honestly, let's get one thing straight here. I'm not here to tell you what sounds good to you. Okay? I'm here to show you the things that are in this shop and let you decide what you think sounds good, if anything, right? So when I say I have a preference, that means I have a preference.
That's his opinion.
Yeah, that's opinion, which means you may differ, and your opinion may be right for you. Like audio is a highly personal hobby.
Even him and I don't agree all the time.
Oh hell no, no we don't.
And that's the fun part.
Yeah.
If we like the same thing, what's the point?
Well, yeah, boring.
I don't need the knob anymore.
Pardon me?
If we like the same thing, we don't need the knob anymore.
No, we don't. No. So what I heard was when we listened to the output through the larger amplifier, through the more powerful device, I heard the sound, for lack of a better term, get a little bit sluggish. It sounded to me a little bit sluggish, a little bit lazy, maybe a little bit warm. The bass was kind of fuller and tubbier. Now, that might be to somebody else's preferences, right? Somebody else with a different room and different speakers and different musical preferences, they may prefer that. I don't know.
There are people interpret it as weight.
Yeah, and maybe, you know what? Maybe it is weight. I don't know. I did notice that when we put the 85 watt module into play, and again, these speakers in this room, the music sounded a little bit more energetic. It had more detail. It had more spatial cues. The timbre of the instruments was more accurate. The tone of the instruments was more accurate. The placement of the instruments was more accurate. And I felt like I was getting a better sense of image from left to right and back to front, whereas the larger output device was a little bit sort of fuller and rounder sounding, but definitely kind of two-dimensional.
I think the smaller one sounds more agile. The saxophone sounds a bit more live.
Yeah, just sounds like a sax. It sounds like you're listening to a saxophone as opposed to a recording of a saxophone. Now, that's a way of describing stuff that is so. It's just. Everybody says the same. Everybody says it that way. So,
but it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone describes, oh, it sounded more live. Well, did it? I mean,
What is more live?
Yeah. The question is, did it sound better? To me, the 85-watt module sounded better. It just sounded more authentic in terms of my experience and my preferences.
On this speaker.
Yes. Yeah.
Different speaker could be different.
Yep.
Like again, if your speaker need current, then you do need more power. It's like plain acoustic, what's that? Aperture speaker.
Yep.
You do need power.
Need
85
power.
watt won't touch it. At least 200 watts. If you don't have 200 watts, it just won't even work.
Yeah.
So in those cases, you do need to look at the minimum power they require.
Yeah. And in this case, these speakers are about 86 dB efficient, so they're not super efficient, but they also don't dip down much below. They dip down to about 3.9 ohms at 16 kilohertz.
Now, I also want to add one thing. This is an integrated amp because it's a preamp and a power amp section. The power amp section has 750,000 microfarad capacitance, so as the preamp section. That is still rather uncommon in today, February 2025.
Yep. Total of 1.5 farads total for the whole system.
Yes. It's still fairly uncommon, and I still have viewer on YouTube saying like, why do you need that much? Honestly,
actually, you got viewers saying you don't need that much. It's a waste.
And I did use the word honestly. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not honest, but I just ignore those questions anymore. I just move on. I'm just going to do what I believe is the best way, my way. If you don't like it, there's a lot of other things you can buy. But I'm going to keep doing what I believe is right.
There. Dang straight. Yes. Okay. Do we have anything else more to say about this?
No.
So, again, if you have questions about how this looks, well, get in here and look at it. I mean, this was actually really well organized. There's less. This is unusual in that it looks a lot less artistic and a lot more laid out. But I guess it has to be because of the nature of what it is, the number of channels.
And if you look closer, I did close up on top, and you can go back to look at it. The black wire are the ground wire, and the red are the right channel, and the blue are the left channels. If you look closer, every single one are twisted with the black wire. That actually acting as a shield for 60 hertz. And you do not need complete total shield for 60 hertz because of the wavelength of the frequency. And they are both end grounded, but the one end is not grounded to the earth ground or even signal ground. They're star ground. So it might look messy to you because you look at a two-dimensional plane, but if you look in the real in person, you can tell they're layering. They're not messy at all because every single wire has a purpose.
Yep, that's the point. Even that has a purpose.
Pick up the amp for that.
Pick up the amplifier. I think that's about it.
And I purposely don't sand the edges. I put notches on it so you can grip a hand.
Yep. So there's going to be another video or two or three. I'm going to do a bunch on this because once this thing comes back in its fully decked out form, it's going to require, oh my goodness. I mean, I can't make, I mean, I made a snap decision on one pair of speakers today, and the other pair, the pair I wanted to use, I had to take out because they weren't doing the job in this room. So it's I mean, there's going to be a process because I have to pick the speakers, I have to pick the rooms, I have to pick, I have to, and I have to do, I'll probably have to try about a dozen pairs of speakers on this to make sure I'm hearing the same thing on every one. But the one thing we did here today was so obviously noticeable that I don't think we have to, I don't think we have to do a whole lot more due diligence on that one. I mean, at least, you know.
Can I mention one more thing on this no-name prototype?
Absolutely.
There's one more things I want to try. I am not necessarily saying I'm going to approve, but I want to try a single power supply and running multiple amps within the room for the 6.2S or 8.2S. So it's a one power supply, 1,000 watt transformer or 2,000 watt transformer running 8 amps, running DC cord around. It's like octopus.
Yep.
No ground loop.
No.
All right.
That'll be something.
There'll be something. It'll take forever for anybody to understand.
Yeah.
I actually almost confused him once a day.
Yep. I got him confused quick, though. I'm learning.
Yeah, because you have COLD syndrome.
Well, it's, yeah. No, I don't have COLD syndrome. I'm just cold. I don't have a cold.
No, not that. No. COLD, he just feel cold, but he doesn't have a cold.
Yeah.
When you're OLD syndrome, they put a C on it. It quite often happens.
Yeah, I'm not tired either. I'm not even sore. Nothing. Just cold. It's not even that cold out.
It's kind of cold out because of melting snow.
Well, it's damp.
Melting snow suck up the heat.
Yeah, makes damp.
Yeah.
Makes it damp.
All right, we're not weather people.
No.
Yes. Bye!